events because we have a guest, a special guest, Brother Kris L. A very, very learned and studied. I respect this brother. I respect, the level of his intelligence as well as the level of his study and application of many different subjects. He's not a one-faceted, brother. And we had a conversation the other day. He said, he had a different perspective, maybe more graduated or perfected perspective on what I think is, one of the most mastered bird's eye view and comprehension of the subject of, obtaining a passport with no social security number. So, the brother agreed to come back on. So with that being said, I would like to welcome to the show Brother Kris L. Thanks for coming back. How's it going, man?
Man, I'm honored to be back on the foundation, the High Frequency Radio Network, Blog Talk. Again, peace to the trustees, peace to the gods and goddesses on the call. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be alive.
Oh, yes.
Some people say, that's because you ain't in Ukraine. Well, if you really just pay attention and do some diligence, we know that every war makes money. Every crisis makes money. And China owns too much debt of the United States for it to go completely bankrupt, because then China lose money too. China owns at least 85% of the U.S. debt. And they back in Russia right now with their little pact agreement against the West, which is cool, because we know that war and rumors of wars messes with the market. But if we position ourselves in a certain way, we don't have to deal with a lot of the sanctions or the amendments to rules that certain 14th Amendment allegiances would have to be subjected to in that jurisdiction that the non-citizen national won't. Show me their papers. We talking the new form with the same principle. It's a new form for the passport, but it's the same principle. The DS-11 dealing with the OMB number. See, Passport No Social 1 and 2 was dealing with a form where I identified for myself bearer. The bearer form, whoever is the bearer of the passport book or card. Well, bearer is a financial term, but now they've taken all guesswork away and just added the OMB number, because whatever has an OMB number is a security. So now they've opened it up to securitize all immigrants, either with an E or an I with two N's, so that they can naturalize these individuals. Because Obama made a statement in his last year term that there were so many Americans fleeing from paying their fair share of taxes, when in fact that fair share of taxes that he was talking about is not the fair share of taxes that we should be paying, because those fair share of taxes goes to little mama the queen over there in England. And that's what President Reagan let us know through the Grace Commission report. So now we're looking at a slew of people that's getting out of the way of taxation, either by way of anonymity or they're filing paperwork that says, I don't have a requirement to file. That's why they omitted certain information. That's why we got to do a part 3, Sonny. We got to, brother. Why? Because we need to understand what it means to have a conferred nationality. A conferred nationality. Having an allegiance to a foreign state or other form. Now, that phrase I just said is not in the passport. That's where you're going to look up the words that's in the new passport. Same words, different interpretation. Conferred nationality. What state you claim. We got to get to the point of understanding that nationality is key to political status of an individual. I'm going to say it again. Nationality is key when determining the political status of an individual. I don't believe there are individuals on this call. I believe there are men and women on this call that think individually. Not that you're an individual yourself. You're a man, you're a woman, not a person. So, what state do you claim? State of being. Your domicile determines your civil status. The domicile determines the civil status. But the Indigenous Peoples Act said that all indigenous people in the world can have the right to claim their nationality, their right to determine their political status and their domicile, which determines their civil status. Know that I'm using domicile because that's what the passport said. They want mailing address, domicile, or zip code. Zoning improvement plan. But what if you took an oath, an affirmation, a declaration, put it on paper and made it your explanatory statement that it talks about in that passport application? If you can find the old passport, I definitely challenge you to go find it. I kept mine. For the simple purpose, because they don't change. There's videos on the net about, like, when I told y'all on the second one, the first passport when I got it, I had found a document from coppermoonshinefields.com. The big wise uncle, big homie Yusuf L put that out. I couldn't find the document. I had to go back to that site, and I went and found the document again, didn't think nothing, downloaded it, and just kept it moving. But now, on that second one, this was by time Passport No Social 2, Part 2, the shake and bake layup. When that happened, it was provide them the social. The first one, don't provide them the social. Now, provide them with the social. I call it fuckery. Because I still stand, there's one statement that still stands on this new form that was on the old form, and it says, received, or if you were never issued, let me say it properly, if you were never issued a Social Security number, put zeros in box 5. It's still there. But then in other parts of the boxes of the form, they putting in bold letters now. Oh, you got to do this. You have to give us your social, or you're going to lose your $250 that you put up to get your passport book and your card and be fined $500. Person like myself, and I say person loosely because when I reach out to them through my administrative process, it's through a person, but I sign as a man, and I'm ready and willing to test their assumptions. So when we position ourselves with an explanatory statement with our oath, affirmation, or declaration, setting the record straight on the conferred nationality or other form. We're going to go into the webinar what other forms mean. There's other forms that you could tap into, but those other forms is a part of the inglegious, for sure. You go into the part where it says how to submit. Where do you submit? I've talked to at least 10 people. 9 of them, when I asked them, if you was going to get a passport right now, where would you go to submit it? Brother Soel, what do you think they said?
Post office.
Post office. But the post office is the passport agency or acceptance facility. Or which one? What's the difference between a passport agency and an acceptance facility? That's what we're going to dive deep into. Because just those 3 things that they took away, electronic statement, paperwork act is no longer on it. How to submit the passport has been amended. And the line out section of what applied to you and what it was supposed to say when you line it out has been taken away. What am I talking about? Specifically, the one line that they say right under your signature on the application page. It says, I have taken an oath, made a formal declaration of allegiance to a foreign state, and made a renunciation of nationality in the United States. It's right there. That right there has been taken away from the application. That brings purpose of alarm for me as to why would you take that away from a citizen being able to make that particular declaration. So we have to realize that depending on the new form, we have to go back and make other corrections to the record, to our status, and to our civil status. They took us out of our civil status with the 14th Amendment, with the Civil Rights Movement. And now we're in this construct called a zip code, where they say that we are a thing identified, unless you're a non-thing identified. When we get the key document to present, because I'm hearing 2 different things in the community, in the world of disinformation, and that's, well, if you get the passport, you're submitting yourself to their rule. And I say, as we move into a declination of the United States potentially being taken over by the presence of China and Russia, that is more important and imperative for us to get our documents so that we can get them annexed. Get that certificate of title, birth certificate, annexed so that we can use that annex number from that document. Key takeaway of this call tonight, which is understanding that our power lays within the county, with our respective counties. More importantly, the county that you were born in, your birth county. So when we look at where the passport is now in its form and where they're talking about going, owns some interesting areas of land already in the United States. If they own the land, then they can put up post, checkpoint, in whatever form that they like on the land that they own. They've already been doing checkpoints over the last year or 2 when the pandemic started off in Arizona. We have the misconception that the passport is a way of conferring our statehood or citizenship with the passport, and it's not. Because you get it in two ways, as a U.S. citizen or a non-citizen national. We know that. That's the only two ways you get the passport. Now, there's different forms of the passport that you would get once you get it as a U.S. citizen or a non-citizen national. But you have to have that explanatory statement to go with that part. How we use the passport, it has to be in conjunction. I'm going to say that again. It has to be in conjunction with an injunction. Getting the passport without the social is not enough. Because you are a non-citizen national, you do it properly. But that doesn't stop the police or any agent from the want of authority. We talked about that in the passport, the second one. It was either that or no. I didn't talk about the want of authority in the second one. I think I did that in the Freedom Talk series. I found a term when I was defending myself in propria persona that was called the want of authority. You can never supersede an agent's want for authority. My passport held them off as much as it could. But when you're in the right situation, you got the right Gomer Pyle and Andy Griffith after you, the want of authority gets real. So, I'm 6-1 still. No, actually I'm 7-1. I'm 7-1. I got pulled over again for allegedly no signal when I made a left turn or something. And the sergeant was writing the citation to issue it. And he asked me, and of course I handed him my passport, and he asked me, so what's your zip code? My reply, I don't have one. What happened? Nothing. He issued the citation. I accepted it. But I'm accepting these from a different way, just like I said in the last passport, no social. Because when you understand you're dealing with an ends allegiance and you're dealing with a federal corporation that's holding all of the property of the United States, and men and women with arms and legs are collateralized. We're all collateralized under the Federal Reserve System. This is why the annex takes place. This is why the passport has no address. If you hand them the passport, they're trying to tag a zip code to you. Because when you filled out the passport, you never gave them a zip. So the passport in itself, as we move forward, is not going to just be enough. You're going to definitely have to combine an injunction to work with your passport. And whatever state you're in, within the republic of that state, those two in combination makes you unfuckwittable. You can go deeper with it, but we're not getting into that aspect of the trust concept of it. But the passport itself, in conjunction with the injunction, makes you unfuckwittable because you're taking that injunction and you're filing it in the county where you reside. And when you file it in the county you reside, your injunction says for all of the counties and states within the union. A gentleman gives notice. A lady gives notice. So we just going to let them folk know when we passing through their town, or if we're going to be around, that injunction is kept with us. As we pass from port to port and plug in to their system. But this time we're not plugging into their system as a male and female. We plug it into their system as men and women, as sentient beings, as non-citizen nationals. That is outside of the jurisdiction of the United States. Before now, and me acquiring and putting forth this information with the injunction, And this is also information that came off of High Frequency Radio Network years ago. Like Brother So Well said, 6 years strong with that thing. You know, congratulations to you, brother. Like, real shit.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's a long time to come in week after week. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, you know, so it's like, as we move forward, though, with High Frequency Radio Network being one of those platforms where our people can collectively come together, gain this knowledge, collectively give different precepts of attitude, learn new skills, and make it a habit. That's how you stack cash. Cash with a K. You're stacking cash by acquiring knowledge, a new attitude, skills, and habits. Skill to understand how to fill out this passport. It's a skill to understand how to fill out the 8832, the Form 56. That's a skill. It's only a skill for me now because I made it a habit, because I changed my attitude about knowledge. So I've reverse engineered for myself how to stack cash, not the cash with Federal Reserve notes, because that ain't cash. That's currency. Stacking up on our gold and silver. Stacking up on the 3 hottest stocks in the game right now. The 13F has come out so well with the Securities and Exchange Commission. These hedge funds had to let it be known over the last quarter what they've been investing these billions of dollars in for these rich folk. And the top 3 stocks that came out, number 1 was NVIDIA. If you have a computer, 7 to 8 times out of 10, you got an NVIDIA graphics card in that computer, especially if it's a Mac. The second one, Block, BLOCK, formerly Square, a fintech company. And I'll give a bonus fourth that I'm moving in my way. If we're talking about a fintech company, if we're talking about a graphics card, and if we're talking about an electric car, that's the future of energy transition right there. Energy transition is going to be through NVIDIA. Why? Because any cryptocurrency that's being mined, especially Bitcoin, the top card to be produced for that is NVIDIA. To produce and mine Bitcoin. $57 million worth of Bitcoin, worth of cryptocurrency, $57 million worth of cryptocurrency was last week sent to Ukraine. While they pulled the plug from the SWIFT system from Russia with sanctions. However, Russia already had its ruble digitized for crypto before the pandemic started. So the bonus, though, lithium. Lithium stock, lithium ETF. Why am I talking about passport, no social? Okay. You want to be broke with your passport as a non-citizen national? That's all I want to know. We're living in the greatest time to be alive right now because we can position ourselves with stocks while they're down. Warren Buffett, he's known for saying, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. Right now, people are getting fearful, taking their money out the market. Another Warren Buffett quote, buy your straw hats in the wintertime. So, like you said, here in Houston, so well, it's already there. I got gas tonight. It was $4.49.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, yeah, it's getting sick.
It's a problem.
I told my green farmer man said, you think we gonna hit $5 gas? I said, did you think we was gonna hit $4.50? It's just 50 cents. That could be by the summer. Elon Musk said the recession is going to happen either by summer 2022, no, not to go past 2023. Why we care about what Elon Musk say? Because Elon Musk has paid the most taxes than any individual in the United States in history. That man got power right now. And he moved his plant operation to Texas, where there is no state luxury corporate tax. The shift of power is moving. Because why? Texas is an oil state, yo. And they got an electric car company there. Let's think about it. I'll pause and let that sink in for the family. Texas is an oil state that holds the biggest electric car provider in the world. It's happening. So, why is that important? If there's energy transmission happening, and if the streets were to ever get in chaos and you in the streets and martial law kick off, you show them passport, you show them authenticated birth certificate on the state and federal level, you show them injunction, I bet you they say, go about your own way. That's just on a low level. We ain't talking about what Brother Soel be talking about when he's talking about I'm here moving about ingress and regress in common ways on private trust business. They shall impair the obligation of contract. So when you get your passport with your explanatory statement containing the verbiage that you need to say, that puts them in limbo, not in limbo, excuse me. It puts them against their wall where they have to give you what you want, but you got to know how to bring the word back to them so that it's not returned void unto you. My favorite court case is Chisholm versus Georgia. Put that in their face. Y'all still owe that family. How the hell you going to tell me being a U.S. citizen you ain't paid your debt yet? Move the fuck around. Matter of fact, because I'm in the position that I'm in, my political status and civil status, I go ahead on and just draft this International Bill of Exchange with a 1099A and a 1041V pay packet that we could just discharge that debt. If the United States is already in Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and you can't pay for debt, you can only set them off and discharge it with commercial paper. That security application with the OMB number with the passport, same principle. But what I didn't show you in the first two is because I didn't do it. In this one, I don't need to do another passport yet for myself, but I would suggest the verbiage of United States Code 12 U.S.C. 411. Title 12 United States Code subsection 411, where it says redeemable on demand in lawful money at U.S. Treasury or any Federal Reserve Bank, in the line of the memo of the postal money order. The only money orders I use is postal money orders because they backed by gold. And when you put that 12 U.S.C. 411, the verbiage that I just quoted, that right there makes it a restrictive endorsement and it's non-negotiable. Which means if it's negotiable, it adds to the national debt. If it's non-negotiable, it doesn't add to the national debt. It's lawful money. That's you redeeming your currency through that postal money order for lawful money, if you write it in that memo. So, to bring it all together, the passport, in conjunction with the injunction, makes you unfuckwittable. When we come to the webinar, where we figure out how we're going to do that, I'm going to show you where and how it all makes sense and how you got the power in the county. Why? Because of the information that they omitted that nobody read, and that's including me, and I did the shit. And I rest my case on that.
So we come back to this injunction. So could you speak more on the injunction and how it is acquired and how it ties into the passport, no social?
Okay, so how it's acquired, you draft it. There's words, and we have powerful documents that have been drafted and put together over the years that I've perfected for myself from court cases to different citations of the Republic. Like for Texas, mine is the 18 is based off the 1836 Constitution for the Republic of Texas. So how does it work with the passport? It doesn't. You want to have that on the record, though, because this whole do not stop, do not detain list doesn't come strictly from filling out the passport that way. It's another phase. Reason why I know that, because if you go back and listen to other shows, and even when I said in Passport, the second one, that I was looking to see, I guess I attracted it because I wanted to know what it said on the computers based on me handing them that passport. And when I got a chance to look, it was blank. They had no do not stop, do not detain. Mine was just blank. But I was in the back of the unit by then. So that means they didn't touch the screen. They just ran my stuff and nothing came back. The injunction is going to the sharif or the sheriff. The sheriff is like the president of the county. You can put your passport number in there if you wanted to. You can put your license plate number, your VIN number. You could even put your legal property description if you own your home in that injunction. Go through the administrative process. Notice, opportunity to cure, default. All to the sheriff, the Supreme Court Justice, and two others that I have on there. I can't remember off the top. But it's 4 that you sending it off to document. That injunction has it in there. Do not stop, do not detain, where you're requesting that they put you on there. See, the injunction is an order to cease or to do an action. An injunction is an order to cease or to do a certain action. So a Supreme Court can give an injunction for, let's just random, a Supreme Court can give an injunction for a cannabis company to produce their cannabis in infused beverages. And when they sell it, can't nobody take it to jail and do nothing, because there's an injunction already to be in place to say that they could do that. And it works in the opposite. If I have a Supreme Court justice with an injunction, a sheriff with an injunction, and I hand that injunction that I have in my hand after I've mailed it off, it's saying cease and desist with this. If I didn't commit a crime, a felony, you didn't witness that, there's nobody with a claim against me, then you are accosting me right now. And you're encumbering me on my ingress and regress. So the injunction is not a part of the passport, but when you hand them that passport and you already got the injunction mailed in theory, injunction should pop up on your, not the injunction, the do not stop, do not detain, in theory, should pop up there because you placed the injunction in, or mailed it in, registered mail, restrictive endorsement, and the passport in combination. Those two, that's why I say it that way, because the passport itself, from what I did it didn't come back with nothing on the screen. I didn't see do not stop, do not detain, which made sense why the officers were always confused, because I was the first person to come back after they slid my valid license and nothing came back. Or not license, but ID, valid government ID. Thus, they claimed it to be a forgery. So, found out that it wasn't. It was too late. I was already locked up. Then it put me deeper into what I was going into to figure out with the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure what I needed to do, and that's when I found out Rule 17 and who can bring suit. But I'll yield there. I don't know if I answered that query there for you, brother.
Nah, you did. You more than sufficiently answered it. I had another one. What was the other one? So, and this is I'm trying to think on behalf of the audience. Can you circle back to that omitted information that you were speaking about on the DS-11 and that statement? Speaking on oaths, or is that the statement that was removed, or?
Yeah, that's the statement that was removed.
Is there still?
I have taken. Mm-hmm.
Is there still things that we have to line out on that form?
No.
Okay.
Part that they took out. You ain't got to do that no more.
All right.
Because the people figured that part out. Because you could send that passport into the IRS and claim that you ain't got to file no taxes because you're not a U.S. citizen. Boom. Boom. So the line out had to be taken out because it was giving too much, even though it was in a confused aspect. When you read it, it's confusing. But if you're good with crossword puzzles, it pops straight out at you. I'm obviously not good at crossword puzzles because it didn't pop out at me as quick. Because you're talking about a whole 3, 4, 5 sentence paragraph, and it's only one sentence that you was actually lining out. You feel me?
Right.
But now you ain't got to do that no more. Now they actually just want the explanatory statement to go with it. But if you position yourself with your long-form birth certificate, get it authenticated on the state and the federal level, when you submit your explanatory statement and your authenticated birth certificate with that application, you need not say more. Because that tells what the passport application is asking when you go to travel.gov and see what they talk about.
Yeah. And, they're going to continue, in my opinion, it's going to be a continuation of obfuscation of information, locking down, make it harder and harder for people to see or really comprehend, as you said, fully what they're looking at, what is being thrust in front of them as far as, documents requiring signatures and other types of information. So, I appreciate you pointing that out. I'm going to tell you honestly, I didn't even know there was a new form, DS-11. And I think I have an old one. So I will compare and contrast the new one to the old one. I'm going to go line by line now and look at them differently.
Yes, there's a whole new act in there, bro. Let me see. What is the act? Hold on. It's an admiral. Oh, here it is. Admiral James W. Nance and Meg Donovan Foreign Relations Authorization Act. So the Admiral James W. Nance and Meg Donovan Foreign Relations Authorization Act, and that's dealing with the privacy statement. What act is that, and why is it relevant? Because it comes from 1966.
Okay. I see it too. Authorities, Privacy Act statement. Authorities, collection of this information is authorized by 22 U.S.C. 211A, 8 U.S.C. 1104, 26 U.S.C. 603, 9E, 22 U.S.C. 2714 AF, Section 236 of the Admiral W. Nance and Meg Donovan Foreign Relations Authorization Act, fiscal years 2000 and 2001. what happened in fiscal years 2000 and 2001. Executive Order 11295. And then there it is, August 5th, 1966, and 22 CFR Parts 50 and 51. So those are definitely some things I'm going to be looking into. Fiscal years 2000 and 2001.
And the thing is funny is because it's dealing with privacy. But then they say, purpose. We are requesting this information in order to determine your eligibility to be issued a U.S. passport. Your Social Security number is used to verify your identity. But that's not the only thing you can use to verify your identity. How can I verify my identity with a Social Security number and it don't have a picture of me on it, my likeness? So when you look at the Social Security card, it also says this is the property of the Social Security Administration. If we ask for it, you got to give it. So how the hell is it yours? And at what point does it say, okay, we want that back from you? And if they want it back from us, what then does that mean if we give it to them? Like I remember Tom Schaaf saying this. He said, being that we all get 10 Social Security cards issued, and that's where you go find that. They say you get up to 10. Same with birth certificates. Well, what happened if you so happen to get beyond that 10? They just not giving you no more? Like, what happened? So if they have a limited number that they can get you, and you understand that the Federal Reserve deals in fractional reserve banking, and you understand that they only need to have, at first, 10% of funds readily available to distribute from the bank that they actually had on their account. So if they had $1 million, they only needed 10% in actual cash in the actual location, which is why if you say, man, I want to get $150,000 cash, they say, okay, we're going to have to order that. Give us 2 days and we got you. Because of fractional reserve banking, same as such for the Social Security card and the birth certificate. Well, in bringing that up, how does privacy play in something that they say is not yours anyway? So
real quick, we got about 60 seconds left in the broadcast. If you're checking out the broadcast live on the internet, you want to call in, we will go over. The call-in number is 563-999-3625. That's 563-999-3625. So you got about 40 seconds before, we go to streaming. But I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, you good. It's understanding how, again, if they've omitted things, if they've added things, and it's those things that they've added are dealing with privacy. But if you've never received or been issued a social, you put in zeros. If one is considered foreign, if they're born outside of the United States, then you must present something to them that would demonstrate that you're foreign. Which is why in passport, the second one, passport no social, the second one, I demonstrated to everyone that they said to me, the State Department, from the documents that you have submitted, appears that you are a U.S. citizen and subject to its jurisdiction. And that's when I hit them back with the rebuttal. And in hindsight, being 2020, I gave them way too many words on the first one. Way too many words. However, I still got the desired result, which was the passport and the book and card without the social. So when I see how that went about for myself and I look at this new form and do deeper research, the rules, the principles, like the wise Uncle Yusuf, principles are few, methods are many. So we understand the principles, how we go about it, it doesn't even matter as long as we hit the principle. And there's 2 to 3 principles dealing with the passport that you need to hit in order to be considered a non-citizen national. And when you understand those principles, you can reverse engineer and do whatever you need to do whenever with whatever. Because it's no secret, it's no complexity in how they're doing what they do. We just have to be able to do what the author Alvin Toffler talked about. He said the new illiterate of the 21st century aren't going to be those that can't read and write. It'll be those that don't have the ability to unlearn, learn, and relearn.
Wow. Yep. And you know, a lot of people who are stuck not only with, you know, nationality, not only with, you know, the structure of this economic system and how we are, I wouldn't say forced, but how we are presented to deal and interface with the system, you know, also, you know, subjects to trust, administration. Wow.
You know, even to the point where you just said there, it goes back to what I mentioned earlier. A nationality that's conferred upon you by any means whatsoever. A nationality was conferred upon us. This is where the political status or correcting your status and all of that comes in at, because it was conferred upon us.
The conferment of that U.S. citizenship.
Yep. At birth. So if it was conferred, then you have to go back and look at the maxim of law. A thing is unbound by which it is bound. And that started at the county level through some institution or agency, instrumentality of the United States Federal Corporation. So the power isn't in just getting the federal determination. The power is in the county and correcting the record.
Right, because, you know, that would make sense to my critical mind, because that's where the record originated. Or the false record.
Mm-hmm. All of us got to come home to roost. If we have eyes to see and ears to hear, success leaves clues. So if we can follow the success, the clues, the crumbs that the Yusuf Els, the Jonah Bays, the what's my man? He was on High Frequency at one point. I see his face right now. Can't call his name off top. However, your Gene Keatings, your Tim Turners, and there's a whole new wave of youngsters that's coming through right now with this information. And that's the shit that's going to get everybody fucked off. Why? Because they doing the shit on public. They doing it on YouTube. They're doing it on TikTok, as if these agents of these instrumentalities are not paying attention or watching. So that they can change rules, so they can make amendments that you don't know about, but one slip up with one word and one document you wasn't supposed to do anymore, then all of a sudden they in your ass. Scamming is at an all-time high. Divorce is at an all-time high. Black male suicide. High. No social is no cure for all that. But when you understand why they divorcing, why they killing themselves, and things of that nature, is either because of some type of poverty situation that they can't get out of, or that they got themselves into, and they don't know how to deal with it. The passport is just the beginning of developing your intellectual evolution when it comes to contract law, business, tax law, banking, and GAAP. That's what I use for myself now. And I'm about to fund the trust. Send me a presentment. We about to fund the trust now. That passport gets you one step closer to the zero file list. I think I said too much right there, but it's all good.
Yeah, you want to say something for the, something for the webinar, something for the, something for the, for those who are willing to directly invest their energy, So, I mean, what do you think? What do you think as far as a timeline on the production and completion of, this passport, no social 3? I assume, you want to do a webinar style, or how's this gonna break down? Tell the people.
Oh man, it got to be webinar style, so you can see what I see. So you can see what I see, and it's not, again, it's just passport. This is not really dealing with the exact application of how you could use this passport, especially when you're talking about buying a car. That's one way to present it. As long as you never want to present anything to any of their agents with a driver's license or a state ID. You don't want that. Unless you add your nature a certain way on there and reserve your rights on the actual piece of plastic. But for me, I don't want to have nothing to do with it personally, because I know I don't need a license to travel in a private conveyance. The passport works just as well. But there's other ways that, getting an international driving permit and all of the other things, to move about unencumbered. That's options too. But I think maybe give me let's say a week to prepare, and then, sometime, after next week, I'm ready. And I say a week to prepare because there's other little things that I want to make sure that I have in there that's going to take everybody's game to another level, not just with the passport, but in practical application of how it could be presented for certain other situations to get you in the financial door, if you will.
I got you. So roughly about 2 weeks. We'll keep you updated here on the foundation. I'll let y'all know, when this is going to happen. You will definitely, receive the requisite time to where if you want to be a part of the live webinar, you definitely can. Otherwise, the recording will be available after the webinar. So, we'll definitely keep you posted. Appreciate you, coming back to the show and being willing to, invest in the audience, bring some information, as well as, a put together presentation of, the work that not only have you studied but applied through your own time and energy, man. I really appreciate that. I think that's mighty noble of you, man. So on behalf of the foundation and, its listeners, I thank you. Definitely want to say thanks for that.
Absolutely. It's an honor, brother. Foundation was one of the ways I got the word out there.
Oh yes. So looks like we got a caller or two. You mind taking the call, or you want to wrap it up? How you feeling right now?
Let's do it.
Okay, you said let's do it. So let's take this caller right here, 773-2672. Area code 773. Is that Illinois? Oh, it must have fell off. Let's take this caller right here. What we got? 832-2627. 832-20. Oh. All right, well, I don't think the switchboard is acting in compliance with what we're trying to do right now. So we may not be able to take callers.
That's what they want. They don't want the Q&A to happen.
Yeah, it's not. It won't let me bring anyone else. Let me bring you in, though. That's what's up.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean,
hell, the other number I called the first number, the 222-5250, and it was like, yeah, man, you can't get in on here, man.
Right. They pretty much let you know. This number's too popular. We're taking it back. Well, I mean, how about this? Anything you want to say in closing? Anything you want to say, to wrap up your point? I mean, I'm going to say beyond, if you're looking to get a passport, no social, I'm going to say this. You need to study the passport application. And I don't mean just look at it and read it once. I mean, you need to study this passport application. Understand that it's, this is in English. This is legalese. So you should have a law dictionary. And you should really, really study it. And comprehend what you're reading. It's annoying, but there's times where I'm reading and stuff, and I'm distracted or whatever's going on. And I'll read a sentence or a few sentences, but won't comprehend what I just read. So I have to go back and reread it. And, reading and comprehending are two different things. So, you have to study it so you can comprehend that application. But, yeah, I mean, what do you think? Anything you want to add as we wrap up?
The only thing I'd like to add to it is that the passport, getting it without the social, getting it as a non-citizen national, changed my life. I can move around in common ways, unencumbered in my ingress and regress, and if they, holler at me, I just hand them that, and they come back confused. It changed my life. And if you hear, see, and apply the new ones, the new additions, and I say new additions, it's old knowledge. I say new additions because this is a part of my process that I'm delivering to you guys that I've known about already. However, I didn't do it because I'm taking my own steps so I can see what works. I'm a scientist. We're all scientists with this. This is technology in its rarest form. A cell phone is not just technology. The computer is not technology. Legalese, as you said, is technology. And when we can master that legalese and look at their titles of nobility that they're not supposed to be given, we can then apply or ask for them in a certain way and still have our integrity, our person protected. So take it serious, please. Why? Because the hammer, as long as this war go on and gas prices go up, all of that, the hammer gonna come down even tougher throughout the year. So let's get geared up with this knowledge and be able to bring that word back to them because you all know that words is an anagram for sword. And it can work for us or against us depending on how we apply it. And I yield at that point.
I mean, what a way, hey, that was a mic drop right there. Appreciate you coming on the show. I'm really looking forward to, this updated version of, Passport No Social 3. I think it's gonna, man, it's gonna be great. It's, as I said, I learned from you, so I'm excited to have other people learn from you. So, I respect that. I respect you, man. Appreciate you coming on the show. You have a wonderful day, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm gonna call you tomorrow. If that's
already
cool.
Looking forward to it, my brother.
You busy tomorrow?
Hey man, I got my son, he playing his trumpet tomorrow at his band thing. So me and his little brother gonna roll through and check out the musician real quick. But outside of that, I'm open, bro.
Okay. Well, okay. You over there playing the trumpet. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I know you proud.
Yeah, blow that
check
trumpet,
that out.
man. Blow the trumpet, man.
Check that out and hit me afterwards when you finish or something.
Yes, sir. Will do.
But yeah, man, thanks for coming on the show, man. On behalf of the audience, on behalf of High Frequency, man, we appreciate you. Keep it up. And yeah, man, respect of a peer. So take care of yourself, man. Be easy. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon, fam.
Yes, sir. You do the same. Absolutely. Peace to the guys and goddesses, and peace to the trustees, baby.
Peace. All right. Well, there you have it. I mean, what is it? It's specialization. That's the word I'll use. Specialization. It is, for me at least, it is a valuable opportunity that I rarely want to miss when I'm able to watch or observe a specialist, and that's truly what the brother is, So I definitely want to welcome you to, stay tuned for, this new webinar, this Passport No Social 3, the updates, the alternative or graduated perspective and application of, like the brother said, the same principles, just expressed and applied in different ways to get a more concise and agreeable result. So, shout out to the brother for joining us and, investing his time and energy here at the foundation. So, yeah, y'all, I would say sign up for the email list. Go to welcometothefoundation.com, sign up for the email list. That would probably be the easiest way for you to be notified when this is happening. We're going to do a webinar first. It's going to be a live webinar. So you can get access to the webinar. There'll be the brother doesn't mind questions at all. Very, very, very accommodating in his explanations. So, you'll have access to ask him questions right there on the spot. Now, if you're not a part of the webinar, you will, just like with Passport No Social Part 1 and Part 2, you will be afforded the opportunity to get your hands on the actual, video, the video of the actual webinar after the fact. But, asking those live questions, brother's private. I'm not giving out his number. There's times where I've asked him to get on the phone with, me or a trustee or someone, and he's been, more than, accommodating. More than accommodating is the word I'll use. But at the same time, time is money. Time is more than money, because you can't replace time. You can replace money. So I respect your brother's privacy and the fact that he's a grown man with grown man responsibilities. So I'm excited that he's going to do another webinar. I hope you're excited. If you are excited, sign up for the email list. Admin at welcometothefoundation.com. Like I said, that's probably the easiest way. I'll make some announcements on the show, but what if you check out the archives and you don't catch the live show? you want to sign up for the email list at welcometothefoundation.com. Definitely want to thank the brother for coming on the show. That brother Kris L. Hey, collaboration. I love collaboration. I'm hip hop head, so back in the day when my favorite rappers would do a record together, man, it was some of the most wonderful things for the summer. Hopefully, y'all look at it the same way, foundation collaboration with the brother Kris L. So I trust y'all enjoyed the show. Did you learn something? Did you think? Did something that you already contemplated or believed to be true, was it confirmed? Or are you further intrigued? I'm intrigued. But, I definitely want to say thank you for checking out the show. Appreciate you taking the time to invest and spend the time with us here at the Foundation. We're here just to, we want, we're just trying to, assist in the upliftment of, fallen humanity. That's the goal. And, we just bring the information, from a perspective that I trust is easily digested. So with that being said, y'all check out welcometothefoundation.com. As I always say, sign up for the email list. Go to the PDF section, grab it and go. Go to the education section. You got Foundation Trust Primer, Foundation Trust Series, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. You got Passport No Social, Part 1, Part 2, soon to be Part 3. You can find the social medias, Instagram, the Twitters. And you can book a consultation, make a donation. Welcome to thefoundation.com. You can inquire with regards to trustee training, admin at welcometothefoundation.com. I trust you have a great week. I trust that you will enjoy yourself. I presume and assume, don't make me a fool, that you take care of yourself and those that you care for and that care for you. Say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night, as it is important. Law of attraction. And, at the end of the day, just believe in yourself. Don't believe nothing any of these fools say. They're scared. They're fearful. They're used to you being who you are. You start changing the stuff, they don't like it. They don't like it. It's different. It's not about you. It's about them. Believe in yourself and do your dance. My name is Host Sot, host of the Foundation here on High Frequency Radio Network. It has been a pleasure, as it is always. And as I said, enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It is important. And I'll catch you next week in the same spot, the hottest radio network on the planet, High Frequency Radio Network. We're doing our dance. And we're doing it just for you. Y'all have a great night. Catch y'all next time. Peace to the gods.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.